watched this weekend was Inside Out 2, Pixar's latest release, and a sequel to Inside Out released 9 years ago. This continues the concept from the original film of us all having 5 major emotions in our heads controlling our major behaviors. In particular, in this film, the teenage girl Riley. She is led by Joy, voiced by Amy Poehler, and assisted by fear, anger, disgust, and sadness. However, Riley is now 13 and on the verge of joining high school and also becoming part of the high school ice hockey team, being an avid player. And just as she is making this transition, suddenly the brain quarters where the emotions do all their work are demolished, making way for new controls and a new team led by anxiety, who immediately starts taking control, displacing Joy, and putting Riley on a difficult path. As someone who suffers from an anxiety disorder, I found this to be an incredibly perceptive and comforting film. The idea that a $200 million movie has been produced explaining how anxiety disorders work to the general public. Like a lot of Pixar films these days, it is, I don't think it's as suitable. Well, it's not necessarily that it's not suitable for children, but I don't think that children would appreciate what it's saying as much as teenagers and adults were. With Soul, I felt that a lot of it probably was inappropriate for children, being a lot to do with death and the concept of the afterlife, and it's going to raise a lot of questions that parents and families might find challenging. With Inside Out 2, I don't think it's going to raise those kinds of difficult questions necessarily, but I think it's just going to go over their heads a great deal. The idea of the anxiety figure attempting to protect Riley by coming up with as many disaster scenarios as possible and trying to protect against them, and ultimately driving Riley into a frenzy and creating a panic attack when anxiety herself goes into overdrive. This is extremely accurate. This is exactly how this works, that it takes over. And I felt the film was very thoughtful and empathetic and perceptive about the workings of the emotional mind, particularly the workings of a teenage girl's mind. Apparently there was a brain trust of teenage girls consulted by the production to ensure that the social aspects of it and the emotional aspects of it were accurate and faithful to what the audience would experience themselves. But the emotional interplay and the way that the world of the emotions and the world of Riley's emotional self works, I thought was extremely well thought out. There is the way that one's memories and personal experience generate a sense of self is visualized quite beautifully and quite cleverly over the course of the film, and the way this can be altered and restructured by changing one's attitude, one's shifting emotions, is visualized and made physical in a way that I think would help a great deal in explaining complicated emotional situations. There's a maturity here, which I found extremely impressive, both the storytelling and the characterizations. And I was very impressed by just how much concern there was for emotional reality and emotional intelligence and empathy within a huge budget animated spectacular. I'm delighted to read, just as this news being published, that the film has been a gigantic success at the box office. It's I think the second highest grossing animated film of all time, and it's under its opening weekend. Third if you count the Lion King remake. But I was very, very impressed by this. It's a very thoughtful and intelligent film that is also an adventure comedy. I was also surprised by how quickly it does away with Pixar's standard buddy comedy model. The first film was definitely a symptom of that, with joy and sadness going on an adventure together into Riley's mind. In this film, that kind of chalk and cheese partnership doesn't really exist. There is that relationship between joy and anxiety, but that's not the core element of the plot, or that's the core conflict. The actual plot is more spread out. So having those characters separate off, going on their own missions and their own journeys, their own experiences, exploring how Riley's mind works in a way that can communicate that to an audience and allow perhaps greater self-knowledge and greater empathy to others, I think is very important, and it's very insightful and very educational. This is the best Pixar film in quite a long time. Maybe it could, in fact, be the best Pixar film now that I think about it. It's certainly on track to be the most successful since The Incredibles 2. I was very impressed by this. I liked it a great deal. It's one of my favourite films so far this year, and I'd recommend it very highly indeed.